All right. I'm Shauna Dorsey. Oops, started it wrong. Welcome to the 10 podcast. I'm Shauna Dorsey with the Nebraska Tech Collaborative powered by Exarban. Here with
Brian Poppy. I work at Mutual of Omaha. So we are joined today by headphone wearing, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
You're already one of my favorite guests, Brody Deren. Brody, how are you?
Well done. Doing well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're wearing headphones. So for those of you that are longtime, like maybe watchers or listeners only, I ask every single guest if they want to wear headphones or not. And you might be guest number 2 or 3, I think, that's ever taken me up on it. So,
And this is out of like probably 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't know how many you've co-hosted, and now we're spending a lot of time on this because Brian loves headphones so much, but at least half of them you've co-hosted.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I don't have a good track record.
Me either.
I like taking the lesser paved road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Speaking of, why don't you tell us like what it is that you do here?
So my job is that?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah,
sure.
That's a good place to start.
So I'm Chief Strategy Officer at a company called Trility, and some of your former guests have been from companies like Kiewit or Union Pacific or companies that everybody knows by name. Ours is not so much one. So we're based in Des Moines, Iowa, but we're a fast-growing technology consulting company. And we help mid-market and enterprise-sized companies define, design, deliver customized technology solutions that solve high-consequence business problems.
What is a high-consequence business problem?
Yeah, generally problems that are going to result, when solved, in new market opportunities, significant savings, transformation of the business, cultural transformation, things like that.
Culture transformation. Okay. So we have a sub-series of the 10 podcast called Tech Culture that we're running for a little while longer. Tell us, if you can, without, sharing details that you can't share, what your favorite culture transforming project has been.
We're in the middle of one right now that is, it's fun. And just like any major transformational project, it's also exhausting. So this is a manufacturing company that is a household name, but they have wanted to grow their business from basically double their business over a 5-year period, largely equipped and enabled through technology. So it's a traditional digital transformation effort, largely supported by data, and then digital products to better capture and engage their end customer at the end of the day. So they are taking on so many things from that perspective, which means cloud, it means web, it means mobile, it means enterprise data, AI, IoT, IIoT, a agile transformation, all of that stuff at once.
Wow.
And they're really ambitious. Sometimes too ambitious.
I mean, doubling in 5 years is ambitious,
right?
For I assume it's an established, since you said
Very
it's a
much
household
an established,
name.
yeah. So, it's been fun.
Yeah.
And we've been involved for about just shy of 2 years.
Okay.
And this is a multi-year journey still, obviously, in front of us. So,
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I have many questions.
Yeah,
but
go for it.
You go.
No.
Oh,
Go for it.
okay. Wow. You did it. So Brody, you've so Chief Strategy Officer for Trility. This is not your first rodeo, as we say. How did you get to this point?
Sure. Good question. So I've been in technology service businesses for 19 years. I worked originally in more of the staff augmentation and recruitment space for a large national company, international company. And then in 2014, I started a company here in Omaha called Dynamo with a business partner. And in 2019, I sold my interests in that company to my business partner and exited that firm. And then I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so obviously pursued that for the first time in 14. After making that sale, I was trying to figure out what was the next chapter, what to do in my life at that point. Considered buying other businesses, and I had a couple of ideas to start, but the folks at Trility had started their business. They were about 2.5 years into the journey. I knew them. They were great people. I really liked the path they were on and the value they were providing their customers. And so I decided when they recruited me, I said, hey, you guys, I like what you guys are doing. I think I can add value to your business. And I joined in 2019. So I've been there for just shy of 5 years.
Okay.
So I guess tell us a little bit about like how does a company know when to come to you with like, you call them a high consequence problem. Like at what point is it's like, man, we are out over our skis here? Or I assume it's not just like, we need more people to do the thing. It's like, we need some expertise that we don't have. How do they find you, and what types of projects fit nicely there?
Yeah. So you asked 3 good questions underneath there. I'll start with the how do they find us?
I already said you were my favorite guest. You don't need to keep going.
So how do they find us? Ours is a relationship business, as a company we literally have a competitive landscape that spans, multiple different business models and tens of thousands of companies across the globe, right? So how do you get business? It's through a relationship in some way, shape, or form, a pre-existing relationship, a referral, or we also have enterprise level tech companies that we work with that we're partners with. So like we're AWS and Microsoft partners, so we can get brought in by those folks, right? Get referred in by those folks. So that's kind of the how do they get to us. Why would they come to us? And you pointed to it. It's usually there's a capability gap between, hey, you guys have seen around corners that we haven't seen around yet. Or it's an offload risk scenario. Like, we have the capability to do this, but we either don't want to, don't have the time, or we really kind of want to put the onus on somebody else, from a risk perspective. Yeah. And we're not afraid of like projects we talk about it in an analogy term of like walking into a cave without a flashlight and just having to like go figure it out, find the flint, get a fire started, sort out what corner we're in and feel our way through it. And ultimately help the client solve the problem. Like those dirty, gnarly, nasty projects, like we're not unafraid to take those on. So, so hopefully that kind of helps answer the question. But we've served companies in a lot of different industries, manufacturing, financial services, insurance, technology, like software and hardware developers. So it's kind of broad there, but it's usually like, again, there's a major opportunity for change, transformation, market opportunity, or significant cost savings, and you need a partner to walk with you on that journey.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Excuse me. So you're Omaha based, but Trility is Des Moines based.
Correct.
So tell us more about that.
Yeah. Company started in Des Moines. My 2 business partners are in the Des Moines area. Our core founding team was largely Des Moines based, but today we have employees and teammates in like 16 different states, and we've served customers all throughout the US. So like just in the last 2 months, we brought on a customer in Seattle, another one in New York. We do business in Omaha and Des Moines and through the central region as well. So, but mostly domestic based customers.
Yeah.
And again, referrals and relationships is what gets us there. So, but yeah, so we've got a pretty solid Des Moines presence. We're growing our Omaha presence. We've like 9 people here in Omaha today.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that we like to ask guests is like, what is the Nebraska, I guess in this case, Nebraska and Des Moines, like Iowa type ecosystem missing in order to really like either scale your business in a way that you haven't seen, or like, again, with your experience at Dynamo, what would have helped that move along faster?
Yeah. So that's a great question, and something that I've getting involved with Tech Nebraska to help support that, because being an Iowa-based company, the Technology Association of Iowa over there has done a very, very good job of helping drive, pro-business, pro-tech policy, and then connection throughout the state. And so that's obviously part of what the vision for Tech Nebraska is here in town. And I've joined their advisory board largely because Laurel Oetken, who's their executive director, she's got a good relationship with the folks at TAI, and she's kind of modeling a little bit of the upstart of Tech Nebraska after that there. So, there's, I think, the elements obviously that Shauna's involved with, and then the work that is being done with Tech Nebraska and some of the work that's being done by the AIM Institute are all really important different parts of that mission, from the public policy perspective, from the talent perspective. from the growing emerging leaders perspective, and then the connection points that, AIM helps contribute to as well. And, I think Iowa is a good model for Nebraska, honestly, and it's just a neighbor down the road. They've just got a really, really vibrant tech community there. And we're not going to leapfrog into, pick whatever stereotypical major market that you want to, but just that incremental improvement. Our neighbors across the river are a good place to model right now.
Agreed. They've been at it for like 20 years. Just
correct.
Really, really awesome team over there. Thank you. I am seeing that the timer is done. So
oh my gosh,
we're at 10 minutes.
We already got to 10.
I know.
Yeah,
it goes fast. But thank you for being here. I kind of want to do a part 2, but I won't do that to you.
Okay.
But thanks, Brody.
I'm sorry for
joining us.
I didn't even.
No,
that's how it works.
Just how it's every time.
Yep.
We're like, wow, we're done.
Okay.
Thanks
for
everyone.
having me.
Yeah, of course.